Remember when Fox was the network that gave us some of the best sci-fi shows that television had to offer? From space marines and time-traveling cowboys to hackers, hellspawn, and unlucky heroes. The 1990s and early 2000s were packed with wild ideas that pushed TV storytelling to new levels. But here's the thing. For every X-Files that became a phenomenon, Fox canceled 3 other brilliant shows before they even had a chance to find their audience, oftentimes making the lifetime of the show brutally short. Some were too weird, some were too dark, or just too far ahead of their time, but all of them left behind devoted fans who still haven't forgiven the network. Today we're going to look back at 9 sci-fi shows that Fox canceled way too early. The ones that proved that even when the network got it right, they still found a way to pull the plug. If you love these nostalgic deep dives into the forgotten corners of the 90s and early 2000s television, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we're about to revisit some of the best sci-fi that never got the ending it deserved. Starting off our list at number 9, we have Strange Luck. Some people have good luck, some have bad luck, but for Chance Harper, luck was a curse. Premiering on Fox in 1995, Strange Luck starred D.B. Sweeney as a photojournalist whose life was defined by a bizarre twist of fate. As a child, he was the sole survivor of a plane crash. Ever since, he's lived with an almost supernatural level of coincidence. Wherever he goes, chaos and miracles seem to follow. Each week, Chance would stumble into impossible situations, saving strangers, exposing corruption, or narrowly escaping disaster, all through sheer chance. It was part mystery, part philosophical drama, and entirely unlike anything else on network TV. Created by Carl Schaefer, Strange Luck earned strong reviews for its clever writing and D.B. Sweeney's grounded, likable performance. However, the concept was far too subtle for Friday night audiences used to aliens and explosions. After just 17 episodes, Fox canceled it in 1996, leaving countless unanswered questions about Chance's mysterious fate. Over time, Strange Luck would go on to become a cult favorite, a forgotten gem about destiny, coincidence, and how one man's curse could change everyone else's life. Number 8, The Lone Gunmen. They were the lovable conspiracy nuts from the X-Files, and in 2001 they finally got their own show. The Lone Gunmen followed Langley, Byers, and Frohickey, 3 paranoid hackers running their underground newspaper, The Lone Gunman. After years of stealing scenes on the X-Files, they stepped into the spotlight for their own blend of espionage, satire, and offbeat humor. Each week, the trio, joined by a new team member named Jimmy Bond, would uncover government plots, corporate corruption, and occasionally, alien conspiracies. The tone was lighter and funnier than the X-Files, but still rooted in the same shadowy world of secrets and cover-ups. Critics loved the chemistry and the quirky charm, but the timing couldn't have been any worse. Premiering in March of 2001, The Lone Gunmen lasted only 13 episodes before Fox pulled it due to low ratings. Ironically, the pilot episode featured a storyline about a hijacked plane targeting the World Trade Center, a chilling coincidence just months before 9/11. Though short-lived, The Lone Gunmen remains one of Fox's most fascinating cult shows. A rare spin-off that proved even the comic relief could carry the truth and make you laugh along the way. Number 7, CR5.
It's playing with your brain. I love it.
Welcome to the game, Sidney Boone.
Long before The Matrix and Black Mirror, there was VR5, a haunting cyber thriller that asks what happens when virtual reality lets you step inside the human mind. Premiering on Fox in 1995, VR5 starred Lori Singer as Sydney Bloom, a lonely telephone technician who discovers she can access a hidden level of virtual reality, Level 5, where she can literally enter people's entire subconscious through a phone line. Working for a mysterious organization known only as The Committee, Sydney uses her gift to help people confront their fears, and also to uncover dark secrets about her own past. Visually, VR5 was stunning, a surreal mix of noir, dream logic, and early digital effects. However, the show was also dense, very emotional, and slow burning. The kind of show that demanded patience in a time where networks wanted fast results. Not only did Fox air the episodes out of order, they also promoted it poorly and would end up canceling VR5 after just 10 episodes, leaving 5 episodes unaired in the US. Still, VR5 would later find its audience, a cult favorite among fans of psychological sci-fi who saw the show for what it really was: ambitious, intelligent, and way ahead of its own time. Number 6. The Adventures of Brisco County Jr.
Brisco County Jr. is the best.
Just had to see what that was like. Just once.
Put the gun down.
Girls?
Where were you hiding in Bang? 1 part Bond, 1 part Indiana Jones, and 100% cool. Sign on for the Adventures of Brisco County Jr. every Saturday morning at 11, exclusively on...
Before Firefly would go on to blend space and the Wild West, Fox gave us The Adventures of Brisco County Jr., a sci-fi western that was just a little too weird, a little too witty, and too smart for its own good. Premiering in 1993, the show starred Bruce Campbell as Brisco County, a Harvard-educated bounty hunter chasing the gang that killed his father, and occasionally chasing down alien orbs that granted mysterious powers. This show was part cowboy adventure, part steampunk fantasy, and completely unlike anything else on television. The tone would swing from slapstick comedy to genuine drama. Think Indiana Jones meets Back to the Future Part 3. Created by Carlton Cuse and Jeffrey Boehm, the series had style, charm, and an unforgettable lead performance from Campbell, whose charisma carried every scene. But despite the critical praise and devoted fan base, Brisco County Jr. never found mass appeal. Fox would later can the show after 27 episodes, citing high costs and low ratings. Still, fans never forgot it. With its clever writing, its playful tone, and nice mix of Western grit and sci-fi imagination, Brisco County Jr. became a cult classic, proving that sometimes being too creative can be a show's downfall. Number 5. Harsh Realm.
In just 7 days, virtual reality
What the hell is this place?
becomes reality. From the creator of The X-Files comes the most anticipated new show this year.
Welcome to Harsh Realm.
Harsh Realm series premiere next Friday at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
In 1999, Fox tried once again to dive into the world of high-concept sci-fi with Harsh Realm. And just like so many before it, they pulled the plug before anyone even knew it existed. Created by X-Files mastermind Chris Carter, Harsh Realm followed Lieutenant Tom Hobbs, played by Scott Bairstow, a soldier trapped inside a military virtual reality simulation designed to train troops for war. However, inside that simulation, a rogue officer named Santiago, played by Terry O'Quinn, seizes control and declares himself ruler of a digital world. It was like The Matrix meets The Twilight Zone. And it actually premiered 6 months after The Matrix hit theaters. The show's concept was bold, its world was complex, and its potential was enormous. However, Fox barely even gave it a chance. They aired only 3 episodes before canceling it, citing low ratings, even though the remaining 6 episodes had already been filmed. The full run eventually did air on FX, where it built a small but loyal cult following. Harsh Realm was another casualty of Fox's short attention span. A show that proved once again that visionary ideas sometimes need more than 3 weeks to find their audience. Number 4. Millennium.
FBI profiler Frank Black
He severed her head.
has a terrifying gift.
You can't stop it.
He can see into the mind
What killed this man was anything but natural.
of serial killers. From the creator of The X-Files
Tell me how you know.
I see what the killer sees.
comes one of the most chillingly twisted series ever on television.
It's my gift. It's my curse.
In the late 90s, producer Chris Carter was at the height of his fame due to The X-Files. His next project, titled Millennium, wasn't about aliens, however. It was instead about the darkness within us. Premiering on Fox in 1996, Millennium starred Lance Henriksen as Frank Black, a former FBI profiler gifted with the ability to see through the eyes of killers. Retired from the Bureau, he joins a mysterious organization known as the Millennium Group, helping law enforcement track serial murderers and uncover sinister conspiracies tied to the end of the century. It was bleak, it was brilliant, and it was way ahead of its time. While critics were busy praising Henriksen's performance and the show's chilling atmosphere, Millennium was simply too dark for mainstream TV audiences. Ratings dropped, Fox shuffled its schedule, and by 1999, just shy of the real Millennium, the network canceled the show after 3 seasons. Over time, Millennium found new life among fans of psychological thrillers and dark crime dramas, hailed for predicting the true crime boom that would follow years later. This show may have missed its prophecy of the end times, but Millennium still feels hauntingly ahead of its time. Number 3. Space. Above and Beyond. Before there was Battlestar Galactica, before The Expanse, there was Space, Above and Beyond. Created by X-Files writers Glenn Morgan and James Wong, this 1995 Fox series followed the 58th Squadron, a young group of space marines fighting a brutal interstellar war against the mysterious alien race known as the Chigs. Space Above and Beyond wasn't just a sci-fi show. It was a well-written story about humanity, sacrifice, and what it means to serve in an unwinnable war. The series mixed things like gritty realism with emotional storytelling, tackling themes like loss, loyalty, and, of course, the cost of freedom. Critics praised its ambition and its stunning visual effects, which were groundbreaking for mid-90s television. But the show was expensive to make and struggled to find an audience. Fox moved the show around its schedule, cut marketing for the show, and after just 1 season of 23 episodes, canceled it in 1996. With that said, Space, Above and Beyond became a cult classic. The characters, its heart, and its vision of soldiers fighting not just aliens but their own doubts also still resonates decades later. It may have ended too soon, but for fans, the 58th Squadron never really stood down. Number 2. Brimstone. Imagine being a cop, sent to hell, and then offered a shot at redemption by hunting down escaped souls from the underworld. That was the story of Brimstone. Airing on Fox in the fall of 1998, Brimstone starred Peter Horton as Detective Ezekiel Zeke Stone, a man damned for killing his wife's rapist and enjoying the murder. 15 years later, he's given a second chance. The devil himself, played with eerie charm by John Glover, cuts him a deal. track down the 113 souls that escaped from hell and send them back by destroying their eyes. Because their eyes are the windows to their souls, of course. Each week, Stone hunted another sinner, a deranged priest, an arsonist, a killer masquerading as a saint, all while wrestling his own guilt and desire for redemption. The show was gritty, emotional, and pretty ahead of its time. Part supernatural drama, part moral thriller. And Fox never gave Brimstone a fighting chance. For some reason, again, episodes were aired out of order, promotion for Brimstone was quite minimal, and it was buried in the dreaded Friday night death slot. Just as the show started building momentum, the network pulled the plug after 13 episodes. Rumor has it there were another 6 episodes in pre-production when it was cut. Still, Brimstone refused to die quietly. Fans kept its memory alive for years online, celebrating its haunting mix of crime, faith, and redemption. Because sometimes, the devil really is in the details. And in this case, the devil was also the best character in the show. Number 1, Firefly.
Take a 6-shooting spaceman.
Bring it on.
Pilot savant.
Who's flying this thing? All right, that would be me.
Tough guy named Jane.
And you only gotta scare him. Pain is scary.
Cosmic hooker.
How's business?
None of yours.
And a girl in a box. What do you get? The most twisted new show on television.
Let's move.
Out there? Oh, it's out there.
That's what makes us special.
From the creator of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Firefly. Premieres Friday, September 20th on Fox.
Well, if you clicked on this list, you were probably expecting this. Who remembers Firefly? The space western that burned bright and disappeared just as fast. Created by Buffy the Vampire Slayer's Joss Whedon, in the year 2002, Fox aired the show Firefly, which followed Captain Malcolm Reynolds with his ragtag crew aboard the spaceship named Serenity. This ship's crew were smugglers, soldiers, and survivors, just trying to make a living on the fringes of a galaxy run by a corrupt alliance. Firefly was funny, gritty, and full of heart. A perfect mix of science fiction and cowboy grit. Whedon once described Firefly as 9 people looking into the blackness of space and seeing 9 different things. But of course, somewhere it all went wrong. Fox didn't seem to understand what it had. In classic Fox network style, the network aired the episodes out of order, showing a random action episode first and holding the pilot, that one that actually introduced the story, until nearly the end. Marketing sure didn't help Firefly either. Promos made it look like an action comedy instead of the deeper and character-driven drama that it really was. People didn't love Firefly because it was funny. People liked Firefly because it was good. Viewership lagged, and by December of 2002, after just 11 of 14 episodes, Fox pulled the plug. Thankfully, fans went on to form the Firefly Immediate Assistance campaign and never gave up. They raised money for an ad in the Variety magazine and even tried a postcard writing campaign urging UPN to pick up the canceled show. And eventually their passion would bear fruit. Firefly would be revived in 2005 with the feature film titled Serenity. Even 2 decades later from the release of Serenity, Firefly remains one of TV's greatest what-ifs. Proof that sometimes the network doesn't kill the show, but rather the fans keep it alive. And there you have it. 9 incredible sci-fi shows that Fox canned way too quickly. Each one had vision, creativity, and of course plenty of loyal fans who just wanted one more season. Or in Harsh Realm's case, just one more episode. From Firefly's space western charm to Brimstone's hunt through hell, these weren't just TV shows. These were all ideas that were ahead of their time. All of these shows prove that great storytelling doesn't always get the ratings that it deserves. And if there's one thing that Fox's network history has taught us, it's that innovation and patience rarely go hand in hand. Maybe next time they could try airing the episodes in the actual order that they were written in. Just a thought. So which one of these canceled shows do you still think about the most? Or did we miss a Fox sci-fi gem that you think deserved to make this list? I love hearing which series you guys are still rooting for and talking about decades later. If you enjoyed this nostalgic deep dive into the lost world of 90s and 2000s sci-fi TV, then do us a favor by hitting the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that bell so you don't miss our next video. Because most importantly, even though these shows are all long gone, the stories, and of course their fans, are still very much alive.